Well, hey there, everybody. It's me, Esther Bartkiw. I am popping in with a quick energy update on this time in between eclipses because it's a time where there can be a little bit of uncertainty, maybe even a little bit wobbly for some people. And I want to give you some tips before we get to the lunar eclipse. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther Bartkiw. I'm a core belief therapist. What does that mean? Well, if you understand the concept of what you believe is what you create in your life, and you're not creating what you want, that tells us there's some kind of belief and a system created around that belief that is holding you back. I will help you to discover those beliefs and the system, explore them, release them, free yourself from it, so you can move forward creating the life that you want to live and experience. So, April 30th, we had a partial solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Coming up on May 15th, 16th, depending on your time zone, we're going to have a total lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. Right now, we are in this space in between eclipses. And I like to call this space, sometimes it's like a void or no man's land, right? It's like you're just leaving the station, you're not yet up to speed, the destination is still, ahead of you, and you're in this in-between stage. And what to do in this in-between stage? I want to give you some tips. First of all, let's back up a little bit. On solar eclipse, it was a new moon in the sign of Taurus. This is about new beginnings, seeding new beginnings. Sometimes to have a new beginning, something needs to be wrestled away from us, especially if we've been gripping on it tightly, even though we know it's not good for us. And sometimes we flow with the new beginnings that are presented, or we're seeding our own desires, new beginnings. But it was a new beginning in a very dramatic way. If you did not experience on the lead up to the solar eclipse or over this past weekend, an event, a situation, an encounter, an aha, a realization of where universe is pointing you towards this new beginning, or where the energies are pointing you to, hey, if you really want to create this, this has got to go and head in this direction, like that kind of information. Don't despair. It will likely unfold over these next 2 weeks. So think about solar eclipse as the day the energies of the change get seeded. And then they will blossom over the next 2 weeks so that you'll start getting clarity on what the energies, what universe is pointing you towards, what the messages are for you. Then intensely over the next month, they will begin to develop, and whatever presents will unfold over the next 6 months until we hit the next eclipse season. So there is a progress, a journey to this, all right? But usually the first 2 weeks we get clarity, and then the first month is like we feel it really intensely as you acknowledge whatever's coming up and do the inner work and take the steps and align yourself vibrationally. It will unfold over the next 6 months, okay? So that's a good piece of information for you to know, because a lot of people will write me and say, well, I didn't experience anything on solar eclipse. Well, you did. The energies were seated in with you. Now let's watch and see what happens. So pay attention. Pay attention to everything, signs and signals. Pay attention to situations that crop up in your life. Maybe you're going to lose your wallet and you can't find it, and it's gone, and you have to cancel your credit cards and deal with all of that. Maybe the sign is, Esther, it's time for you to deal with finances, money matters, how you spend your money, how you're not spending your money, how you invest your money. What do you think of money? Are you using money as security? So if you are and the money's gone, where does your security come from? I mean, that's all kind of Taurus themes. So pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what people say to you. Pay attention to memes. Pay attention to repeated messages. Ooh, I've seen that 3 times now in 3 days. Maybe there's a message there for me. Pay attention to what's going on, because the messages are there for you, okay? And how do you determine the meaning of a message, okay? Well, this is what I would do. I would say, ooh, okay, I lost my wallet. I don't like it. I'm aggravated. I'm frustrated. It sucks. I've got to go through all this work. I honor the emotion that is coming up, so the emotion can move through me, and then I would turn within and say, okay, what's the message here? Because I could consciously deduce all kinds of messages, but what is the true message here? And listen to the whispers that come up. And if you need help, reach out to someone like myself who does readings and inner work and helps people get clarity on all of these different situations and occurrences, and we'll help you to unravel it so that you get the message, can make some changes, and start on a higher path of potential. Okay? So watch for clues. It can come from songs, it can come from numbers, it can come from seeing the same bird on your windowsill 3 days in a row. It can come from watching a video, a blog post, a billboard sign, lyrics in a song, something that your friend says. Listen to what the children say. They speak truth all the time. I sense a lot of people will get the area of wealth and finances. I mentioned this in my last video, is something that will come up for a lot of people. And I'm also getting a sense that people need to make some very dramatic changes. Okay, so when I say dramatic, is you're living in the US and you've been getting that nudge to move to a whole different country in another part of the world, and you've been ignoring it, but now it's going to be crystal clear. Or you've had a certain way of eating nutritionally and you thought it was great and perfect and wonderful for your body, but your body has been needing and wanting and asking for something else, and you've got to make that change. Or maybe you have been building a business in a certain area and you're realizing, you know what, I love it, but I don't love it. I love this instead. And being brave and courageous enough to say, you know what, I went down this path, it's not for me. I learned a lot, and now I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go down a lot of path. I see some really dramatic events like that happening for a lot of people. Okay, so be okay with this void, this uncertainty, because the clarity will come. It will come, absolutely. Just be open to the clarity and look for the clues over the next 2 weeks. We've got the lunar eclipse coming up. It is the bookend. I am working on an energy update for you. I have a lot of juicy specific information about the lunar eclipse coming up. I believe it's going to be more profound than the solar eclipse for everyone. Okay? Because it's about releasing and endings and letting go. Lunar eclipses are always emotional. This is, full moons are always about emotions, right? The moon rules emotions. Add in the eclipse and it's like even bigger. And this is a total lunar eclipse. And then the times that we are living in, it's going to be a big one. All right. So I want to get that out to you in the next couple of days, because I want you to have that information in your hand as we approach the lunar eclipse, so you can better navigate the cosmic waters. So I hope this information is helpful. Watch for the clues, and I'll be back soon with another video update. All right. Ciao, everybody.